Yeah, it's Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight on the show, John Cena returns to Smackdown. Charlotte Flair is the new Smackdown Women's Champion. We're watching AEW Rampage. We saw Dynamite. We saw the wrestling. Let's get into it. Indeed.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, it's
John.
John.
Our show.
Nope.
Oh, no, it's Dave's show.
It was John. There's John. Nope. I'm trying to get me and John, but now I can't even hear John.
Dynamite.
Yeah, now we're good.
Damn. Now we're good.
Whoops. I don't know what happened there.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So, what do you think about the last week of wrestling for 2022?
Yeah, it was all right. SmackDown delivered tonight. SmackDown definitely delivered.
SmackDown was good. Why did Darby Allin just push Sting? What's going
I
on
don't
here?
know.
I don't think Sting was very happy about that.
I don't understand.
Whoa, did Sting almost like hit him in the face?
Why are Sting and Darby fighting?
About like Sting doesn't want him to lose his edge or something, he's saying?
I don't know.
Well, he's got to face Joe, right? Darby's going to face someone with Joe, I think on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sting's maybe trying to pump him up.
My understanding that Darby is going to wrestle Joe on Wednesday, right? That's what we found out on Dynamite this week.
Yeah, I guess Sting is giving him a good pep talk here and like getting kind of intense.
Yeah. It's just a
Spit in his
promo
face
from
almost.
Darby and Sting. It's just a promo to hype up the match, an intense promo. Maybe teasing some sort of feud between Darby and Sting, maybe a match where they break up. I could see that going
haven't
down.
seen Sting. We haven't seen Sting wrestle a singles match yet. It's always been tags with Darby.
But with Darby, it would kind of call for it. It would make sense for Sting to have his first singles match in AEW against him.
Yeah.
And now we have Kip Sabian wrestling. So enough of AEW. Let's talk about WWE. We'll talk about the week in AEW. But WWE gave us a pretty easy week to cover because Raw didn't really happen. They gave us SmackDown, and SmackDown was actually pretty good. So if you want to talk about the last week in professional wrestling for 2022, you got to look at the WWE, and they delivered as far as I'm concerned. No Raw and a good SmackDown. I'm happy with that.
And we have a new champion, albeit I don't know if it was the greatest move in the world, but they made it seem like it was the most spectacular thing to happen on the show with the whole celebration afterwards, which was kind of ridiculous, but I guess it was a big deal because you saw a title change, right?
So a lot happened on
14 times she did
SmackDown.
it.
A lot happened on SmackDown tonight. Charlotte Flair returned and beat Ronda Rousey to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. That's a title change that John is talking about.
Yeah.
We also saw a brawl between Braun Strowman and Gunther and Imperium. And in the main event, we saw John Cena and Kevin Owens beating Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. John Cena doing some wrestling, not a ton. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens both coming up pretty bloody after the match. Sami on his nose got busted open pretty early on, and then Kevin on his eye was really busted up. I don't know what exactly happened to Kevin. Did you catch what happened to Kevin Owens? I know that I think Anthony Plessia, a member of the team. Shout out to Anthony in the chat. Ryan Katz, Alex Tarris, Lorne, CSL Lorne. Everybody checking us out live. Don't forget to join the channel, join.ringsidereport.net if you haven't already. But Anthony says Kevin's eye was effed up. It definitely was. It wasn't like that for the majority of the match, but it seemed like right at the end, I don't know what happened, but at the end of the match, Kevin's eye was looking awful. I didn't have time to rewind and kind of check it out because we had to come on and do the show, right? But do you know what happened?
Well, I noticed it right when we came back from commercial break. I'm like, oh, his eye's kind of red there. And then by the end of the match, you see like, oh, it's like bloodied. It's really bad. So I don't know if it was the shot that Roman gave him, like when, like he said, go make the tag, and then he gave him that clothesline shot. Maybe because he turned his head around, and then maybe he clocked him in the eye. It's possible. Or it's something that happened during the commercial break that we just didn't see. But it looked like it happened like either right before the commercial break or during the commercial break, because when we came back, his eye was already like kind of red.
But it opened up, right? Like it got worse.
Well, because he kept going, right? And you keep getting hit over and over again, and you keep wrestling, you keep getting hit in the eye just with anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just with Sami coming up for the power bomb, and there's still friction on your eye, so that's not going to help you too much. And hopefully he's okay. I like Kevin. I don't want to see him get hurt, but wrestling, it's tough. It's a tough sport.
Kevin and Sami both busted open in the match. What did you think of the match? I thought it was pretty fun. I liked it. Good to see John Cena back. It was, a fun. It felt like a holiday, send everybody home happy type of match where you have some big stars in it, but you're going to have a clean finish that doesn't really matter because Cena's not a part of the full-time story. So Cena can come in and kind of Superman his way with Kevin Owens to a win over Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Because Sami took the fall, right? Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Roman. Roman rolled out of the ring. Kevin hit the stunner on Sami. 1, 2, 3. Cena and Kevin get the win. So I think that the finish was done right. The match was done right. And it was fun. And it was an attraction. It got people interested. It got people talking. The building was hot for it in Tampa, where Cena lives and has lived for many years. I don't know if he still lives there. I mean, he's Hollywood now, but he definitely lived there when he was wrestling full time. What?
I mean, they all kind of live in Florida anyways, right?
Yeah.
They're all residents of Florida in some capacity.
Well, not everybody, but a lot of them. I think Sheamus lives in Nashville. Huh?
I meant the guys in the match. Kevin, Sami, Roman.
I think Sami lives in Montreal. I'm pretty sure he lives in Montreal now. That's what I've...
Okay, but he did live in Florida.
Understood. I've been made to understand.
Sounds like AJ talking to you.
Well, no. I mean, anyways. Cena and Kevin over Sami and Roman. What did you think? Did you like it? I thought it was a fun main event for SmackDown. Definitely star-studded.
It was okay. I didn't like that they said, "Oh, this is the biggest match of the year," and I'm like, right away, it's like that's the worst thing to do, because we've had a pretty good year of wrestling, and to say this is the biggest thing, and just in terms of hype, this couldn't live up to the hype of Brock versus Roman, both championships to be unified, or even how big that match was for Drew at Clash of the Castle. This wasn't even close to that. There was no stakes at all involved in this match at all. To say this was the biggest match of the year. This was a nice end to the year. It's probably the best end of the year they've done in a long time. But in terms of a match, I mean, Cena did what, 10 seconds? And you could clearly hear him
hyperbole.
Yell.
Hyperbole, John. It's professional wrestling. It's always the biggest match of the year. It's always the biggest show of the year. Every show is the biggest show. They say that to get you hyped. Come on. You can't take them seriously when they say that.
Well, when you don't deliver, I can say, that's disappointing. And I thought it was. You give it that much hype, you give it that much credit, and then it can't live up to that? I'm sorry. That's disappointing. And, I don't know why their mics are so loud or Cena just yells, but, he's very audible on the stuff that he's, calling out in the ring there. Maybe because he's rusty or something, or maybe they've changed their mics and he doesn't know about it, but you could hear him clear as day telling Kevin not to get up. Stay down, when it has to make the hot tag. He's yelling, stay down. And then it's the referee's job to do that in a sense too, because the referee's telling him the same thing. So I don't know if they have to fix the mics or something, but that was a really bad spot, and it kind of took a lot of the energy out of that moment, because that's the big hot tag, and you're kind of out of the moment because it's no, we're gonna reveal that this is all just a work, and that was clear as day on TV. I'm sure you caught that.
I didn't. I had a baby on my lap. She was talking to me, so I was watching, but I couldn't hear everything.
Good distraction.
Yeah, I didn't hear all the little, I didn't hear that, but I'm sure I'll see it on the next Botchamania.
Probably.
Right?
More than likely.
Yeah. But...
And, I don't know about you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just one thing. When Cena comes in, makes a hot tag, does his moves, that's fine, and then tags out. The fans kind of booed. Because it's like you did all that for like 10 seconds and then you tag out. Like that was it. The fans weren't happy about that.
But he tagged out for Kevin to get the win.
But Kevin was already like bloodied eye, like beat up, like all tag out right away. Like in terms of the logic of the match too, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it's not like everyone was down and out too at that point. Like Kevin had to go in there and hit a move afterwards. It's not like just to give him the win. Like you still had to fight for that match.
Well, Roman was out.
After the AA, which was done after the tag.
Was that after the tag?
It was after the tag, yeah.
Okay. Well, Cena didn't do too much, right? He went in, he did what he had to do. The 5 moves of doom. And, that was it.
Yeah. And I get it. That's fine. But, again, to say it's the biggest thing ever and be hyped about it and say, like, this was great. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think it was great. I wasn't impressed by this at all.
It wasn't a great match, but I was excited to see it, and I was interested the whole time. It kept me watching. It was captivating because of who was involved and what the potential was, right? Because there's potential for a big angle to happen there. They didn't really deliver with a big angle, but I was kind of thinking, well, you got Cena, you got Roman, you got Kevin, you got Sami. I thought they might advance something with Kevin and Sami and Roman and the bloodline thing and maybe tie Cena into it or maybe not. But we got no advancement of the storyline in that respect. All we got was Sami losing.
I think they're going to use the result and build off that pretty much because they're not going to have Cena more than likely on television, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to be like, oh, this is what happened on SmackDown, recap it on Raw or SmackDown next week. And then build off that into the next thing that they do for the story. Like Kevin getting the win, that's big because that builds him up to face it Roman, and hopefully he's not too hurt that he would be able to do it. And then obviously again with the whole problems with Sami and Roman that they tease again in a promo earlier in the night, and they can say, hey, Sami, you kind of dropped the ball there, you lost. So there's a lot they can still do off this, even without Cena.
Yeah, I mean they can use it for sure. There are a variety of ways, like you said there, that they can use the result of this match to further the story. They also gave us a few promos where they were talking about how Sami got cheered. They were chanting Sami's name when all the bloodline was in the ring and wondering whether, Heyman at first kind of approached Sami and said, maybe it's not a good idea for that to happen. It's not the right optics for when the tribal chief is in the ring and everybody's chanting your name. And Sami then asked Roman, if he was okay with that, if that was a problem with him, and Roman kind of took time and eventually said, no, it's fine. I don't care about that, But Roman also said, oh, with you and me together, we're definitely going to win this match. I could take the night off. Sami, you're going to kill it. And then Sami winds up losing for the team. And Roman doesn't really lose matches. When's the last time Roman has lost a match, whether it's a tag team match or a singles match?
I believe he lost by disqualification against Xavier Woods.
Wow. When was that?
Yeah. That was last year, I think. I think December. Yeah.
So he has not lost a match all year, and he was this close to going a full year without a loss, possibly? And Sami ruined that? I mean, should be held to pay for that, right?
Well, don't quote me on that. There may have been another 6-man tag they may have possibly lost to, but I also find they possibly haven't. So
yeah,
they have
seem
to show
win.
some. Oh, they seem to always win.
Yeah,
which is fine. It shows you how strong they are. But they needed to have some sort of weakness. Like Kevin needed to get some sort of over tonight, and this was a step in the right direction for him for the Rumble. Again, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's not that severe, that eye injury, but it was worrisome. When I saw that, I was like, damn it, I hope he's okay.
Now, Kevin and Roman for the belts at the Rumble has not been announced, but we're expecting it, right?
We're getting matches for the Rumble, it seems now. It felt like they were getting more hype for the Rumble now. We got a match announced. It feels like probably Ronda and Charlotte's going to be for the Rumble too, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting that direction. I mean, think about it. We're what, 4 weeks away now?
Yeah, about that. Let's see. I could take a look at the calendar I have over here. We've got Raw coming up in Nashville on Monday. First Raw of the new year. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of TV before the 28th for the Rumble.
And they've kind of already set their big matches leading up to the Rumble already, right? Like Gunther versus Braun's not going to be at the Rumble. It's going to be 2 weeks before it. And we think Ronda will get the title match, but maybe it'll be before it as well. Who knows? I mean,
No, for sure.
as we've seen with the Rumble, there's 2 Rumble matches, so not every match can make it to the Rumble event. So
But
we'll wait and see what makes it.
I mean, there's a big difference between Gunther and Braun Strowman and Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, right?
I agree.
Like Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey are marquee players in the WWE. When you take,
100%.
your top 10 most important people that you have under contract, they are there. They are part of that. Gunther may be creeping his way into that top 10, I got to say. Just based on work and presentation, he's fantastic.
Right, but I mean, let's
But he's
admit
not
it, like
Charlotte.
Charlotte and Ronda. Yeah, they're more over. I mean, that's it. He's not as over.
My God. When Charlotte came out tonight, massive pop. People love Charlotte Flair.
It was good. Not a fan of the new music, but like, she's over. You liked it. I was like, what is this?
I don't know. It's like her theme song, but kind of remixed. It's like a different version.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
You're not feeling anything tonight, John. What did you like?
I love them. I actually love the Ronda and Rodriguez match. I thought that was fantastic. That was easily the match of the night.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes.
What a match.
They are great. Both of them are great. Their first match that they had a few months ago was fantastic, and this one was even better. What a match. And Ronda playing that cowardly heel champion to perfection. She looked like Ric Flair out there.
The only one problem with that is that you're a coward heel, and then someone challenges you right away. Yeah, of course I'll accept that challenge. So it's like, so it completely goes against it, but whatever. Like, they just had to find a reason to have Charlotte there, and she doesn't have the Money in the Bank briefcase, so whatever. They've already done that to Ronda.
Yeah, it's just a way to have Ronda drop the belt. It's a weird way to do it, but it's what they do for some reason. But the Raquel Ronda match was fantastic. But when Raquel went for that finish on Ronda and pinned her, and then Shayna put Ronda's foot on the rope, and then the referee got all mad at Shayna.
Yeah.
Did Ronda not also grab the other rope with her arm?
Yeah.
So, what's Shayna doing? Like, what's the point of all that? Why did Ronda grab the other? Like, she shouldn't have grabbed the other rope because the spot was put my foot on the bottom rope. But maybe she was worried that Shayna was going to miss the spot and she was going to get counted 3. So she grabbed the rope to save the ref?
Well, also, because, the ref was in clear position where there's no choice. The ref has to see it. And that puts the ref in a horrible spot.
Yeah.
Where it's like the ref should have kicked her out. And even the commentating was saying it too. So at least people were acknowledging like my complaints finally about all this. But I could see like that wasn't supposed to happen the way it went down. And they were trying to cover for it. And I guess they needed Shayna for the ending. They didn't really need her for it, but I guess the story didn't call for her to get kicked out. So They
Yeah.
couldn't throw her out.
It was a bit of an odd
They
moment
should've.
there in the match that was otherwise really good. And the finish was cool too, because Raquel was
Great
selling
finish.
the elbow injury, and then Ronda had the armbar. She was on Raquel's shoulders, and she had the armbar, and then Raquel dropped Ronda off of her, and Ronda fell off, but the impact hurt her arm, and Raquel kind of tapped as she was going down. And Ronda lost the armbar, but Raquel's arm was all messed up, and she was all hurt, and she was tapping. It was a cool finish. It was a very cool
I thought
finish.
it was just a great wrestling match. I mean, Ronda broke out some great holds on Raquel, and it was just a good battle, good fight. Like Raquel showed some fight too. Like she's stronger, so she can take all that abuse and punishment, and you can believe it. Like to me, Ronda is the best champion. Realistically, you believe in her as a champion. The way she comes out, the way she presents herself, she's a believable champion. She's more believable than pretty much most of the roster. Even she's up there with Roman, maybe even more believable than Roman.
Of course,
because Roman, he's way overconfident. Ronda's confident, but she has that champion swagger.
Well, there's that, but I think another thing that makes Ronda so believable is that she really can beat them all up.
That too, of course.
I mean, come on, John, that's a big part of it. The legitimacy of Ronda Rousey, the fact that she was a former UFC champion, the fact that she is a judo black belt. She's walking out there with her gi, with the black belt around her neck. She's sending a statement. She could beat up all these women. Every woman, Charlotte Flair, Raquel Rodriguez, as big, anybody that they have, the biggest one, the most jacked one that they have, send them after Ronda Rousey, and they will lose in a real fight. That helps. And she's got everything else that you talked about, the champion swagger and the great wrestling ability and the look and the intensity and the charisma. She's got everything. And with Roman, Roman's believable. He's a good champion and all, but he doesn't have the real factor that Ronda does, right? Roman's an ex-football player. Roman's not really beating Brock Lesnar in a fight, ever, on his best day. It's just not happening.
Right.
So that element of Ronda adds to the scariness of her. Because, when Brock Lesnar goes in there against Roman Reigns, Brock can do some damage on Roman, but Roman could probably take it. But when Ronda Rousey goes in there against Liv Morgan, you're like, oh my God, she could kill her. There are some women that Ronda wrestles that are kind of small, like Alexa Bliss or something, where you fear for their safety. She's that dangerous. She's got that element to her in pro wrestling. She's fantastic. And when you have somebody like a Raquel Rodriguez who is so big and strong and imposing, it makes Ronda, I think, even better because it shows that what she has isn't the size and the strength, it's something else. It's danger, it's skill, it's ability. She's a very skilled grappler. It's a great package. And then, of course, Charlotte Flair shows up after the match. Ronda talks to her a bit, asks her how her arm is feeling, because last time we saw her, Ronda broke her arm. And Ronda wonders if Charlotte wants a rematch at SummerSlam or the Rumble. She's not sure what event is coming up next. Ronda doesn't care. She's just had a great match, too. I think she was a little blown up.
Well, that, too. She wasn't really thinking of, the event, and, yeah, that's it. And also, that's around when Charlotte, left, too, right? She should only, if you think about it, that's kind of smart that she said that. You should only get your title shot at SummerSlam because that's when you left around that time. So that's when you were a number one contender. Now you're not a number one contender anymore.
But Charlotte wants a match now, and Ronda says, okay. Even though Shayna is trying to tell Ronda not to, Ronda decides, I'll take the match. Shayna should come out next week and say there was no contract, like Mr. Fuji said about Yokozuna after WrestleMania 9 when Hogan took the belt. There was no contract.
Well, that got Yoko a rematch, but it didn't change the title decision. But
maybe Ronda and Shayna have some Japanese photographers ringside that can do an exploding camera in Charlotte's face.
That'd be pretty cool. I don't know about you. I expect Ronda to get the championship back. I feel like they're just adding up Charlotte's title reigns. That was just a kind of an excuse just to give her another title reign.
Or maybe they want her champion going into Mania, possibly. So
it feels
Charlotte,
like plans have changed, huh?
I mean, possibly. Charlotte took the belt tonight, which I didn't expect. We expected Charlotte to come back at some point, but honestly, I thought it would be the Rumble, in the Rumble match.
Me
right?
too. Yeah.
She comes back tonight. Big surprise. I mean, they already had Cena advertised, and then boom, they give us Charlotte, and they give us Charlotte versus Ronda in kind of a match, but a title change where Charlotte takes the belt. Like, this was a pretty big episode of SmackDown. Charlotte hits a big boot on Ronda as soon as the match starts. You could tell Ronda is like out of it. Charlotte hits a big boot, and you think maybe it's over. It's only a 2 count. Ronda kicks out. Charlotte hits a boot on Shayna. Shayna falls off the apron. And then Charlotte hits a spear on Ronda. Ronda reverses it into an armbar. And you think, oh, maybe Ronda's going to just tap her. But Charlotte stacks Ronda up into the pin. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte wins. New champion. Some people are upset. People are mad that Charlotte beat Ronda. You said they're just adding to the belts. I think that's what it is. This is her gimmick. She's 14-time champion. She's going to be as many-time world champion as her father was, if not more. Probably more.
I just thought the pyro, like the excessive pyro after a cheap win like that, was absolutely ridiculous.
Part of the gimmick. It's who she is. She's pageantry. She's greatness. She's excellence. She's the queen. It's part of the gimmick. Roman had a bunch of pyro when he did his entrance. Charlotte won a belt, pyro. But it is kind of conspicuous, like, wait a second. How come you had all this pyro ready? Like, you knew Charlotte was going to come back here and have a match and beat Ronda? How did you have all this pyro ready for this celebration when the match was impromptu? Suspicious.
It's always on standby, apparently, I guess. You know, they always have it ready whenever they need
Extra celebration
it,
pyro, just in case Charlotte Flair comes back.
Exactly. Well, they had Cena back, right? So they figured they might need extra pyro, I guess. I'm sure there's some sort of story they could make up for that. That's not a big issue, but I don't know, like a cheap win like that, and like she's a face. It just felt weird, but it's Charlotte, so it doesn't really matter in the end.
People are happy she's back. People are happy she won.
Yeah. Well, it's good that she's like, I don't know about you, like they needed her back. Like SmackDown without her, like it's a very thin roster that they have. Like,
yeah,
who else could Ronda wrestle? Like she needed Charlotte to come back.
Just got even more thin, didn't it? Didn't they lose Shotzi to AEW? Didn't I see her with MJF this week? Was that Shotzi?
Is Shotzi? Are you sure Shotzi's going to go to AEW? Because
I thought she was there. I thought she was already there with MJF. Didn't you see her there with MJF this week? Wasn't that Shotzi?
I didn't. I didn't see that.
There was a girl with MJF this week in the crowd.
Oh, that on Dynamite. I thought that was Saraya for a second.
I thought it was Shotzi. I was like, what's Shotzi doing there? It wasn't Shotzi.
It wasn't either.
She looked a lot of people thought it was Shotzi. I wasn't the only one. I saw people online going, is that Shotzi? Shotzi! It's another
indie wrestler, though. It's not her, though.
It's not Shotzi.
And Shotzi got heat with Jericho, so I don't know if that's ever going to work out.
Shitzy. What?
You don't remember that? Like, Shotzi, like, made fun of Jericho, like, for his bump off the cage. Yeah.
Who was Shotzi?
And, like, Jericho got
Chris Jericho. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what Jericho thought, and, like, said, like, good luck trying to find a job in 6 months. Yeah.
Good one, Jericho. All right, enough about Shotzi. But it's good to see Charlotte back. I wonder what they're going to do with her going forward. Like, I think Ronda, Charlotte at the Rumble is a match that happens. But then what?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's weird because now I saw like reports today that apparently Ronda and Becky, it's not going to happen now at WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
which is an absolute disaster if that's the case. Like, they should have done it last year. Like, it was hot at that moment. People wanted to see it. People were talking about when Ronda won the Rumble, and they didn't go in that direction. And like, oh, it's cooled off now, so we're not going to do it. Like, this is why you do it when the match is hot. You don't wait a year, and now you cooled it down, and no one cares.
So what do they do instead? Like, I don't really
Yeah, I know.
know what they
It's
do.
crazy. Like for me, like who else could Ronda really wrestle at Mania? Like to me, it has to be Becky. Like it doesn't have to be for a championship, but like that's her opponent really. Like, is there really a better match? Like I guess you could do Ronda and Shayna going for the tag titles,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it's really a huge step down though. That's not a big match.
Ronda and Shayna against who for the tag belts? Not Damage Control.
No, like a face team would have to win it from them, right? I don't know what team could possibly, just some random team put together, you know?
Derek John saying he would like to see Ronda versus Bianca. I thought we were going to do Charlotte versus Bianca this year.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it's tough if they're both champions, right? Unless we do like a unification match or something, which I doubt we're going to see that. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Something's changed, it looks like. Maybe they'll steer back on course, but maybe, totally different kind of matchups. I mean, still potential. You could get Charlotte and Becky if Becky wins the Rumble, right?
I could see that going down. That's a big match. Charlotte
Right.
Becky, they could do that. And then Ronda and Bianca possibly. Or, there's talk of Rhea Ripley possibly going up against Bianca.
And I heard talks of her against Ronda, and it's like that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like
Who against
I
Ronda?
can't see that work against Rhea.
Rhea and Ronda.
Like, to me, that just doesn't fit.
Rhea found a tag partner. You could do something there.
Okay. Well, you're gonna talk about Dominic. Please no, that was horrific. Like that's embarrassing that actually happened. Like Dominic is really bad. Like not just at wrestling, but at acting. Like
Oh,
I don't know about you, but he's got the same face all the time, whether he's happy, sad, confused. It's that same stupid dopey face he's always got. Like he's the worst. Like force fed down our throats way too much.
yeah.
Like I like Ray, but Ray, this is like the worst thing you've ever done to us.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not good at anything, Dominic Mysterio. I really don't enjoy watching him wrestle or do those promos with Rhea Ripley, that whole Dominic Mysterio invading his family's Christmas dinner with Rhea Ripley. Yeah. And they did it before at Thanksgiving. They're doing
Right.
it again. Like, I don't need to see this. It's basically the same thing we saw 2 months ago. Not even a month ago. Well, why? Whatever.
Well, now you got to
Dominic
see it.
Mysterio. Who cares?
Well, I don't know about you. They're clearly pushing that to Mania. Like Ray and Dominic, that's going to be a match. Like,
Yeah.
because like they keep that going, even though they're on different shows, right? So that's going to happen.
I hope they do Ray versus Dominic in a retirement match. And Ray wins.
That'd be too good.
That'd be the best. You know, just have Ray
But to be
win.
fair, Dominic's got great heat though, like fantastic heat. But they kill a lot of his heat when he loses. Like he shouldn't lose that much, really. Like he should be the one guy in Judgment Day that doesn't take falls. But it feels like he's the one who takes all the beatings, and he takes a lot of pins too, and that kills a ton of his heat. Like they should change that.
People hate him though. You hate him?
Yeah, exactly. But they'd hate him even more. He'd be even more over as a heel if he didn't lose and get beat up as much. I mean, he can take his beatings, but like not for long periods of time like he does.
I don't hate him. I hate them for allowing him to be on TV. You know, I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like they've given him a lot of time, and like people are like, oh, he's just a rookie. Like he's not really a rookie anymore. This is what, like year 3, 4 now. Like full years here of him like wrestling. You could say like, oh, he hasn't wrestled that long in front of like a whole huge crowd. I'm like, fine, but like, how many hours did you put in at the PC? Like, how many hours have you put in like train every week? Like, what happened here? Like, it doesn't feel like we've seen that progress.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not good at all. You know, I guess he'll wrestle his father at WrestleMania. I really don't care. I wonder what they're gonna do with Charlotte and Ronda and Becky and Bianca and Rhea, maybe. How does everybody kind of fit together?
Yeah, it's a good question now.
I'd like to see Gunther wrestle Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and I think Braun Strowman is a good way to doing that. It's a good like first step to Brock Lesnar. That promo was weird. Imperium did a promo talking about how great Gunther is, and then Braun Strowman came out. And Braun Strowman just always comes off stupid, no matter what he says. He just comes off dumb. They showed a promo video showing all the guys that Gunther has beat during his Intercontinental title run, right? And Braun Strowman comes out, and he's like, I noticed that I wasn't on the video, so that must mean that you didn't beat me. And it's like, yeah, I mean, do you not have a memory of your matches? Do you not remember? Like, he's like, wait a second, I wasn't on that video. That must mean you and me no wrestle. You know, like, how stupid is this guy? He needs a video to remind him that he hasn't wrestled. He's like, oh, Gunther didn't beat me. See, I wasn't on the video. We must have a match then. And he says, well, your guys say no man on SmackDown can beat you, but how about a monster? And he literally said it like that. Mine was actually better.
I mean, you guys both sound like Cookie Monster. That's the main thing. Like, he sounded like Cookie Monster, and that's all he had to do.
Yeah. What the hell was that? That's his monster voice? I swear Triple H was like, and like, how about a monster? And Braun's like, okay, I'll do that. How about a monster? It's like...
That sounded more like Grover from Vince. Okay, like...
How about monster?
I get your point. Yeah, there you go. That would be that's a great thing for Botchmania if they added the yum yum yum. They really should. They really, really should.
Yum 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 yum.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's another good step towards Brock. I agree.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a good step towards Brock. No, I agree. It's a good step towards Brock. He's got to keep facing like tough challenges, and then like Brock's going to be the toughest challenge without question. I agree. I hope you're not dying over there.
Num 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 num. So, Braun starts fighting Imperium, and he does his thing where he runs around the ring like a train. They didn't do the sound effects. They don't do that anymore, thank God.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and then Gunther dodged Braun, and Braun went through the barricade, and then Imperium started beating up on Braun, hit him with a chair and such, and then Gunther put him in an arm lock and tried to break his arm, and then referees and agents tried to stop them. But Imperium, the Imperium goons, Kaiser Soze and Giovanno, I don't know what their names are. One of them is Kaiser. Ludwig Borga and Kaiser Soze. I don't know.
Giovanni Vinci, I think.
Giovanni. I got Giovanni right, didn't I? Did I call him? There you go. And I'll learn their names one day, but not today. I like Kaiser Soze instead of Ludwig Kaiser. So, you know who that is, John?
No.
You never seen the movie Usual Suspects? You know, Kevin Spacey.
I know of.
Maybe we're
know
not
if I
supposed to watch
it,
Kevin Spacey movies anymore, I guess. It's a good movie, though. Good movie.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I ever watched it, actually.
I recommend it. It's pretty good. Although maybe I shouldn't recommend it again because he's been canceled. He's a bad guy, that Kevin Spacey. Like a pedo, I think, isn't he?
I'm not sure, but I mean...
I think it was, allegedly, I think. I know he's been alleged to have been like a molester of guys. It's not cool. So, I don't know why we're talking about that. I'm just saying it's a good movie, Usual Suspects. And Kaiser Soze attacked Braun Strowman, and he was attacking the agents. They're allowed to attack the agents and stop them from getting in the ring?
No. They're not supposed to.
Well, they did, though.
It should be like fine.
They were like holding them back, right? Shouldn't they all be fired?
There should be fines at least, yeah.
Anyways, Ricochet saved the day with a chair, stopped everybody, took a swing at everybody.
Well, he killed Gunther with like a chair shot right to the head. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah. Did he catch him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he caught him. Like, he was down, and like the agents went to him afterwards saying, like, are you okay, kind of thing.
Yeah, at first they were like trying to stop Gunther from causing havoc, and then Ricochet like legit took a huge swing because he's doing that thing where they do the big swing outside of the ring, and they're supposed to miss, right? Except he clipped Gunther in the head, and then so the agents go from like, you know, doing a acting thing where they're like, stop it, Imperium, to like, oh shit, Gunther, are you okay? And you can see the like vibe change immediately where the agents are looking at him like, oh, are you? And Ricochet starts like looking over at Gunther like, oh shit, you know, like that was bad, man. I hope Gunther's okay. I didn't see what happened, but yeah, he got hit. It made a sound.
Well, because he got hit with the worst part because it's the top of the chair, right? So when he got hit with the end part, like he probably only got hit with the metal pipe of it. Like, man, that would hurt a lot. And hopefully he's not. You can get busted open quite easily with that. And on top of the head, that could be really bad. That's not only like a cut. That's maybe a concussion.
Yeah.
That could be horrendous, actually. So hopefully he's okay. I mean, some rough moments tonight on SmackDown, sadly.
Yeah. And Gunther is having an incredible run as Intercontinental Champion. That match with Sheamus that he had this year is a Match of the Year candidate for sure. I think my Match of the Year has got to be Cody and Seth in the Hell in a Cell, though. We've seen some good matches, but that Cody-Seth match was just kind of... That was next level stuff. The Brock and Roman match at SummerSlam was fun with the tractor. But just what Cody went through, seeing Cody, like... all messed up and having that match, it was pretty good.
No, Cody and Seth, it was very good as well. Like, full credit to Cody to go through with that match because, I mean, he really didn't have to do that, but he still did it and it added to the drama of it, of him actually going through with that. It just, for me, in terms of, like, what was the most entertaining thing that I saw, for me, it was Brock and Roman because like, that was entertaining and went above and beyond what I was expecting. Like, I never would think they would pull the ring like up from underneath it like that. Like, that was absolutely insane. The fact that happened. And of course, Brock just throwing Roman around like with no care in the world, just however he felt like doing it. Like, that's always fun to watch. Like, to me, like, that was the best thing I saw this year.
It was entertaining. But the drama of the Cody Seth match got me. But that Roman Brock match for sure is in the running.
Well,
We
they're
saw
both
some
very
good wrestling
matches.
this year.
Yeah. Great year for WWE. Fantastic year. And I believe
In a way?
Swerve Strickland. What do you mean in a way?
I mean, they lost Vince. Vince retired this year under like some shady circumstances. So good year for WWE in many ways, but in other ways, kind of a shameful year for WWE and for Vince personally. Like when Vince McMahon, the founder and chairman, has to resign in shame, I don't think you can say it was an outright good year for WWE. I think you could say that there were some good times, but maybe not perfect, right?
It'll never be perfect. I mean, you could talk about so many
Yeah,
different
but-
kind of situations.
The Vince thing was kind of a big deal, John, and that was a blow, you know?
It hurt, but like, did it really change? I don't know about you, but to me, things didn't change that much. It felt like in terms of watching TV, like Raw's
Well,
still the same. It feels
Triple
like,
H
for the
hired a
most
bunch
part.
of old NXT guys.
Right. I don't know if that's really helped or, really boosted things much. Maybe a little here and there, but I haven't seen that big of a difference in my opinion. Like the main thing has been the bloodline, and that was going before Triple H took over. So, and like,
Yeah.
I don't find there's anything else that's better in terms of storylines. That's the best thing they had, and they ran with that, and they always should run with that.
How about this,
But
John?
I'm also,
Your buddy
Go
Kevin
ahead.
Owens, much bigger role since Triple H has taken over. Much more prominent.
I guess, I mean, yes and no. I mean, he got to wrestle Austin when under Vince's watch,
That
like
is
that.
true.
Pretty, whatever about the Elias thing. I mean, that match, you can't replace that.
Yeah.
And Kevin will always put over in his interviews that Vince wanted him back. Like, that's why he re-signed, because Vince wanted him. So that was huge for him.
You're right again, John. You got me again. What can I say?
But, but you're right, too. I mean, there were some rough times. Vince, Matt Riddle, Mandy Rose. It wasn't a peachy year for WWE. But
Yeah.
I think in terms of wrestling, we saw some fantastic wrestling this year. I mean, in terms of like events, WrestleMania Night 1, SummerSlam, I thought Clash of the Castle, 3 excellent premium live events. Like, maybe of all time, those 3 ones.
The last one was not bad either, right? I think.
Survivor Series was okay, but I wouldn't put it as like one of the greatest of all time. Like, to me, those 3 that I just mentioned, I think they might go greatest of all time right there. Definitely the 3 the best we saw this year.
Yeah,
Survivor
SummerSlam.
Series was okay. Oh yeah, SummerSlam was great, top to bottom. Like the SummerSlam might be the best show, like start to finish. WrestleMania Night 1 is good, but I don't know if it's a solid card, start to finish.
Ooh, but didn't
there's
that
some
have
great
Vince wrestling?
No, Vince wrestling was Night 2.
Oh, well, that was the best night of wrestling then. Whatever match had Vince.
No, Austin Night 1 is
Oh,
the
and
best.
Vince's match of the year, too.
Of course.
Vince Austin match of the year.
It should be promo. It should be Vince.
No. Vince's match of the year, for sure. Everything he does. So good. His match at Mania, the stunner he took from Austin, bump of the year.
You could say, yeah, moment of the year, whatever.
Oh,
fine.
my God.
That's fine.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Still, oh, my God. Vince taking that stunner from Austin, and Austin just laughing at how terrible it was. It was so good. He's like mid-stunner, and he sees how badly Vince is already taking it. He's just laughing as he's doing it. Oh, it was awful. It was so good. It was so bad, it was great. That's how bad it was. It was amazing. SmackDown tonight, you want to talk about something that was just bad. Not so bad it was good, just bad. SmackDown tonight was good. Everything was good, except for the opening segment. The opening segment was terrible. Bray Wyatt takes forever to get to the ring. He apologizes, man, for attacking the cameraman. I'm trying to be a good guy, man. Fucking Bray Wyatt. He sucks. Hey, you like my Bray Wyatt impression?
It's good.
I mean, I don't have Vince anymore, so I'm trying to work on Bray Wyatt. I lost my puppets, man. I don't know what's going on. LA Knight. So LA Knight shows up, and Bray Wyatt, he says he's a fraud and he's a broke down loser, and he's got a Royal Rumble coming up, and LA says it's going to be his first Royal Rumble, and he wants a match with Bray Wyatt, and Bray accepts the match. And then Uncle Howdy shows up, and he gets like a full entrance. He's got like a theme and everything, and he comes to the ring, takes his hat off, keeps the mask and wig on, comes to the ring. Takes forever, by the way.
Less fat, too. Looks like he lost weight.
Looks like a different Uncle Howdy, right?
Yeah, it looks like a different Uncle Howdy, yeah.
And he came to the ring with like a kind of like a cool walk. Like he didn't seem like a demon. He just kind of seemed like a guy walking to the ring. It was a weird walk.
He seemed like a wrestler this time around.
Yeah, but not a big wrestler. To me, this evil demon Uncle Howdy should be large, but he seems smaller than LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. Much smaller.
Interesting.
And what?
That's a very interesting fact. I mean, who's smaller than both those guys?
Well, they're not small guys, but Uncle Howdy doesn't seem that imposing, you know?
Right.
And he stands next to Bray and seems like he's with Bray and they're going to beat up LA Knight, but then he gives Bray the Sister Abigail and then leaves and takes forever to leave, and we're just watching him leave as the music is playing and he's leaving. That was terrible.
It got better.
Well, yeah, it got better, but man, they opened up real bad. What?
Bray
Wyatt? This stuff is so bad.
What about the announcement afterwards?
Oh. So they say Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, even though LA Knight challenged Bray Wyatt to this match, it's going to be a pitch black match. And then Michael Cole has to correct himself and say, a Mountain Dew pitch black match. Because the match is presented by Mountain Dew Pitch Black, which I've learned is an actual flavor of Mountain Dew that you can buy and drink. They named the match after Mountain Dew.
Wow. That's really being loyal to your sponsors.
Super chat.
I mean, I'm not joking. It's an actual soda.
So the ring's going to be filled with soda, I guess. You have to win the match by, like, dousing your opponent in soda.
I don't know. But.
Or whoever drinks the most. I did ask Mountain Dew, like, what is that match? They haven't got back to me yet, though, sadly.
You got to ask Mountain. Hey, Mountain Dew, what's this match you've booked? This is legitimately what they have done. They have named a match after a Mountain Dew flavor. Like, and then this match, like, what's this match going to be?
Well, when I saw Pitch Black, I'm like, okay, so they're just going to fight in the dark? But
yeah.
Now you're saying like a Mountain Dew match, like, okay, like they're just going to throw soda at each other? And...
Oh, they have to. There's going to be soda involved, right? It's a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. I love Michael Cole. You see the little Mountain Dew logo when they show you the graphic for the match, and you think, okay, whatever, Royal Rumble brought to you by Mountain Dew. Michael Cole goes, it's a Bray Wyatt LA Knight in the Pitch Black match at the Rumble. And then he goes, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at the Rumble. You're like, the what? The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. He had to say it right because it's sponsored by Mountain Dew Pitch Black. And it's not like it's the Mountain Dew pitch black match, like it's a pitch black match. No. Mountain Dew pitch black is a flavor, and that's what the match is. It's a soda. It would be like the Cherry Coke match. Mountain Dew Code Red match is next week. And because all the Mountain Dew flavors, right? In a couple of weeks, we're going to have the Strawberry Crush match, followed by the Orange Crush match, and then the Cream Soda Crush match. Grape Crush match is coming up next. Crush is really going to be a big sponsor, I think, for a while. I mean, what the hell is this? This is I've never heard of a fully corporate sponsored match in WWE. Like, it's bizarre. And they're going to try and make it some sort of gimmick match. I don't know. Is it going to be like a demon, evil? Are they going to focus on the pitch black aspect? Or are they going to focus on the Mountain Dew pitch black aspect? You know, like, is it going to be evil and twisted with Uncle Howdy and darkness and mirrors and shit? Or will it be soda? You know, some sort of dark soda. I think it's a berry flavor.
I guess, yeah. You'll be trying it one day, so you'll be able to tell us, I'm sure.
I can't wait. I am hoping to get myself some Mountain Dew Pitch Black by the Royal Rumble. And I will drink some while I watch the Rumble, and I'll be like, look at this, guys. Mountain Dew Pitch Black. I need to get myself some Mountain Dew Pitch Black by the Rumble. January 28th. I have 4 weeks. I'm sure I can order it somewhere. It's not available in Canada, but I think in the States, possibly. We'll see.
You can get it worked out. I feel like WCW did something like this, where they just had some sort of sponsor kind of match like this, and they just throw it out.
Didn't AEW do like a Cracker Barrel match?
Yeah. And, well, WWE did a KFC match, too, once.
Did they?
Well, if not mistaken. Yeah, I feel like they had, like, a bucket of chicken, whatever, at ringside.
But just to book a gimmick match like this at the Royal Rumble. This is Bray Wyatt's comeback match, too, right? Like, this is his big return match.
Well, apparently he wrestled at the MSG show on Monday.
Yeah, but...
And there's word that he got hurt, apparently, so... We'll see what happens with this. Like, what kind of match this can actually be.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm not surprised he gets hurt. I mean, when's the last time he wrestled? Like, years? Like,
yeah.
I think it was like two WrestleManias ago they wrestled.
It's a house show match with Jinder, I guess, to get the cobwebs out. And what the hell? Whew. Oh, well. Well, it'll be a gimmick match probably at the Rumble, so he won't really have to wrestle. Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Shout out to Harold Schneider, member of the team, dropping a $5 super chat. He says, Happy New Year to all the Ringside Report audience and hosts. Thank you, Harold.
Yes,
super chat leader of the night. Happy New Year to you, Harold. Happy New Year to all the viewers. Thank you to everybody supporting the Ringside Report Network over the past year. We promise you big things in 2023. I got plans. I got some plans. Couple of things here, a couple of things there. I maybe got some Royal Rumble plans. I don't know.
Oh, you're in the Rumble? Cool.
I'm not going to the Rumble.
Texas.
I'm not going to San Antonio, Texas for the Rumble. I'm going to Elimination Chamber in February. I don't need to travel for the Rumble. Chamber's coming to my hometown. I got tickets. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Elimination Chamber. Uncle Howdy. I mean, what the hell is that? Is that a wrestler now?
Well, I don't know. Like, to me, like, Bo Dallas makes a lot of sense if it's going to be him. And, like, if it's anyone else, like, it needs to be a big name, really. And I don't know if there's really a big name out there that you would really care about if it's revealed to be them. Like, to me, it just, Bo's the only one that makes a bit of sense just because it's his brother, right?
Eric Rowan would have been a good spot. You know, big, imposing.
Right. Clearly wasn't him.
Nope. No, I don't know who that was, but I don't know. We'll see what they do with the Uncle Howdy thing. I don't care to see what they'll do, but we will see it because we watch the shows.
That might be his Mania match.
Bray versus Howdy?
Right.
Wow. It's like the B version of Taker versus Kane, right? It's a garbage version of that. Cool.
Maybe on Wish, yeah, possibly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, something like that.
So one small moment that I enjoyed on SmackDown was the New Day, the model guys who are still backstage at SmackDown for some reason, I guess in catering, Madcap and Ricochet all making fun of Top Dollar falling over the top rope a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. And this led to Top Dollar getting upset eventually after taking a lot of jokes at his expense and attacking Ricochet. And now next week on SmackDown, we'll have Top Dollar versus Ricochet for a spot in the Rumble. I like how they took Top Dollar botching and turned it into a small promo backstage where everybody was making fun of him. That was good.
Well, they've done this before in WWE. When something bad happens, whatever, and they can't cover it up. So just like, well, we'll just run with it. That'll become an angle now, and it's a thing. But did Hit Row just turn heel now because of that? Or what?
Maybe.
Or are they just going to do the same thing over and over again? It's just kind of like they're going through this now, for now, and still going to be faces because they don't have anyone else really to be heels.
I don't think it really matters what Hit Row is. Do
Probably
you care?
Not.
I think they work better as a heel group because I don't really like them. So, yeah. Right? They're kind of annoying. Nobody really likes them. So why not turn them heel? They're not good baby faces, so try them heel.
I think there's potential in the gimmick. It's just the execution could be a lot better, and I think they need someone else in their group, I think, to help carry a lot of the wrestling.
Yeah. Well, they had that guy. He just wrestled in the main event of Rampage against Wheeler Yuta. He was in the...
Yeah, Swerve was good.
Right? He was the wrestler of the group. He was the guy, and then WWE fired him, and then they tried to bring back the group. After they fired everybody in the group, they brought them back, except Swerve already had a contract because Swerve was the only talented one in the group. He's the only one that AEW wanted. They fire all of Hit Row after they debut, right? They were there for like a week or two, and they fired them all. And then none of them get a contract with anybody except for Swerve because Swerve immediately lands in AEW because he's excellent. And then... Triple H gets in power, wants to bring them back, brings them back, but doesn't have the actually talented one because he has a contract in AEW. So, that's where we are with Hit Row. I liked Hit Row a lot better when Swerve was in it. It made a lot more sense to me. It was his group, and they were his goons. Now it's just a bunch of goons with no leader, Sheamus, he's got his goons. He's got his Ridge. He's got his Pete Dunne, He's the leader.
Right.
But Pete Dunne and Ridge on their own, wouldn't be so good. But with Sheamus, it works. It's better.
Well, they need a new leader then. They should get one. I mean, it's not hard for them to find someone new. They have enough people in NXT. They can bring somebody up.
Yeah. Swerve worked, though. For that gimmick. I don't know. I don't know who would work for them. I don't really care. I hope Ricochet beats Top Dollar and Ricochet's in the Rumble and not Top Dollar. And I think that's what will happen next week on SmackDown.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Ricochet, they like him a lot, so yeah.
Solo Sikoa beat Sheamus this week after some distraction from the Usos brawling with Ridge and Butch ringside. Usos and Solo attacked Sheamus after the match. Drew McIntyre made the save, and Drew is back. He will team with Sheamus next week on SmackDown against the Usos for the tag team titles in a match that was supposed to happen, I think, a couple of weeks ago, but Drew was hurt, so they had to postpone.
Right. Yeah, he hurt his eardrum as well. Remember, I guess it was also possibly in the Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no fun to get it. And I don't see the Usos losing, but
No.
it's an interesting match, though. I mean, if they'd lose to anybody, you think Drew and Sheamus, it's a decent team.
I just don't see it.
I don't see it, but it's not gonna be easy for them to win that match. There's gonna be definitely a lot of shenanigans, interference.
Yeah. It should be a good
They
match,
win
too.
that clean.
No, for sure not. Solo and Sami, maybe even Roman, but probably not.
Yeah.
Probably just Solo and Sami, right?
Oh, interference. They'll need help for sure.
And they announced Braun Strowman versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title in 2 weeks on SmackDown, which I'm looking forward to. I think it'll be a good match, but not next week, in 2 weeks. They're making you wait. That'll be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They'll be in Memphis next week. They were in Tampa tonight, of course.
Well, slowly making their way down south.
Well, not really. I mean, Tampa tonight. Next week, they're going to Tennessee. They've got Raw in Nashville, SmackDown in Memphis. But then the following week, they got Raw in Birmingham, Alabama, and SmackDown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is not the South, John.
No, okay. It's not perfect, but like they're roughly getting there.
The following week, they're in Detroit.
Well, they really threw it off there.
Yeah, come on.
But they'll get to Texas eventually.
They will get to Texas eventually for the Rumble. That's correct. But they'll be slingshotting across the country in the meantime. All over the place at WWE. And they signed people from all around the world. They made some news this week signing Dragon Lee to a contract, and he's expected to go to NXT. Dragon Lee is a tremendous talent. A huge signing for WWE, and it reminds me of when Triple H was really signing guys like Nakamura, like Finn Balor, like AJ Styles, like, you know, when Triple H and the WWE were going after some prime, high-level indie targets or New Japan targets that were available. And Dragon Lee is a guy that's been all over the world, in New Japan, in Mexico. I believe he had a match or two in AEW.
Yeah,
right?
Remember the match where they beat him up afterwards?
Did they? I don't remember. What happened?
Like, didn't him, Andrade, and Roosh, like, wasn't there like a 6-man? Wasn't that the trios tournament thing?
Okay. Yes.
Didn't they like beat him up and like rip his mask off afterwards?
Oh, maybe. And that was the last time you saw Dragon Lee in AEW, I guess.
I think so. Unless he may have done some dark matches too, though. Possible.
Okay. Well, he has had some incredible matches that I've seen. His matches with Hiromu for New Japan have been tremendous, tremendous matches. He did one match with Hiromu where Hiromu unfortunately broke his neck. I don't know if you remember that.
Terrible.
Do you remember that match? He like tossed Hiromu and he skidded across the ring on his head. It was crazy. It was the craziest match. If you haven't seen Hiromu Takahashi versus Dragon Lee from, I think, a Madison Square Garden show.
New Japan? ROH
Yeah.
show?
I think it was a New Japan show. It was a Dragon Driver. I believe it was at Madison Square Garden. But it was ridiculous. They've had some tremendous matches over the years. Dragon Lee and Hiromu. And Dragon Lee is a top talent. Young guy, too, I think.
Well, I'm not sure. He wears a mask, so I have no idea. But
He
you know,
is
it's good.
27 years old with like so much potential. So much potential. And
Well, it's good.
I think it's a really big signing for WWE. If he could pick up a little bit of the promos, he is going to be a big star for them. So that was a really big signing. I was surprised and pleased with that move from WWE. And they announced it, too, like a big deal. You know, it wasn't just like somebody reporting it. It was WWE announcing. WWE signs Dragon Lee. They made it seem like a big deal, which I think is cool.
Well, there was a lot of nice little touches they've done recently. Like when they mentioned Don West passing, unfortunately, today. Like they mentioned that on SmackDown. That blew me away.
Yeah.
Like we usually would not mention something like that.
Yeah. Michael Cole saying pro wrestling announcer Don West made an impact on the wrestling business, right? Huge impact. So he didn't say where he wrestled, where he worked, right? But he did kind of mention impact. Don West, great impact color commentator. Fantastic. I don't know why they ever got rid of him. He was always great. He passed away today, unfortunately.
I think he just had enough of it, I think.
Oh, okay.
He had done it for so long, so.
He was good. Him and Tenay were a very good team.
I mean, they were, like, when you look back on TNA, like, what TNA was, it was them, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. The best years of TNA wrestling was Mike Tenay and Don West doing the commentary. No offense to anybody else that came after, but I think that the best years, the most fun years for Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, was when Don West was doing that commentary. Just the whole package was very good. So rest in peace to Don West. Rest in peace to Barbara Walters, too, who died today. I don't know if you saw that. Barbara Walters, a pioneer in broadcasting. 93 years old. Rest in peace, Barbara Walters. Lots of respect for Barbara Walters. Big fan. Been around forever. Interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
And was one of the first women, probably the first woman to be in like a prominent news role. She really kind of broke down a lot of barriers for women in broadcasting. So big respect to Barbara Walters, and there will be lots of send-offs over the next few days for her because she was an important person in broadcasting. So rest in peace to Barbara Walters and, of course, to Don West. Two great broadcasters, right? Don West and Barbara Walters. AEW.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Dynamite
AEW.
you're talking about now.
Yeah. We saw
Rampage.
Rampage. I mean, whatever. Jade Cargill won.
It looked like the baddies are like broken up, it looked like.
Is there a baddie explosion?
Well, Red Velvet like stopped Jade from hitting Kiera Hogan and like walked out on them afterwards. So it looks like Red Velvet's gonna feud with Jade now, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever. Somebody for Jade to beat up.
Okay.
Well, because Kiera was a baddie, and then they turned on Kiera, and now Kiera's wrestling her, and then Red sees that Kiera could be turned on, so maybe she's next. So she's kind of stepping in. Makes sense. It's not a huge deal.
No, but you could tell that maybe they're getting rid of the baddies overall. Maybe.
Does Jade need them? They don't help her win.
No. Right. I mean, it's good, I think, for like Layla Gray. Like, you don't really know who she is, right? So it's good for her just to get on television because of that.
Yeah.
But maybe for someone like Kiera Hogan, Red Velvet, they could do something else. They have more talent.
I thought Dynamite this week was pretty good. I thought Rampage this week was, whatever. I don't know what Jon Moxley said in his promo.
Yeah, I don't know what he said in his promo. Probably something about Hangman. I think there was a graphic. I think he's going to wrestle maybe or have a confrontation with Hangman. On I believe January 11th, the big LA show, I think.
Confrontation or a match? Because they said that they said this week to Hangman that he could wrestle in 2 weeks. He could be cleared in 2 weeks, right?
Okay. Well, again, I couldn't really tell what he was saying, Moxley, because wasn't really paying attention. I couldn't really hear it. Just saw some of the closed captioning. But I think he said something about like facing me. But does facing me mean match, or does facing me mean just, confrontation? So, I mean, there's still 2 weeks, like you said. We'll find out maybe.
I don't know. I think he wants a match with Hangman Moxley. He challenged him to a match. So possibly we'll see Hangman versus Moxley in LA on the 11th in 2 weeks.
It's a big show. I mean, you have that match, and they still haven't announced who Soraya's partner is going to be. And the longer they drag this out, the more people are going to start thinking Sasha Banks is going to show up.
Yep.
So,
possible.
Big show.
If Sasha Banks shows up January 4th for New Japan, I could see her showing up for AEW.
She's like taking photos of people in Japan right now.
There you go.
So,
yep.
Like, I think it's for sure she's going to show up.
Uh-oh. Did I just lose John?
Yeah. Can you hear
John?
me?
Yep. You're back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you think she's showing up for sure, right?
Well, again, like, the longer they let this slide, like, she kind of has to, right? Because, like, people would be very disappointed if she doesn't show up. If it's just going to be like Tony Storm or something.
Trying to figure out when this Wrestle Kingdom is taking place. Because they say January 4th and January 21st.
Really? That's kind of...
I don't understand how that's going to work. I think most of the matches are January 4th. Yeah. January 4th, Wrestle Kingdom, which is soon, right? January 4th is Wednesday night.
Well, that's
Wednesday.
Right. That's why Kenny won't be on AEW next week.
Yes.
That's why we're not getting the best of 7. We're getting the best 7 on the 11th.
Because Kenny will be wrestling Will Ospreay one-on-one at Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome January 4th, coming up next week. This is the WrestleMania of New Japan. This is the biggest show of the year. Massive show. Wrestlers from AEW and WWE appearing on this show. Kenny Omega wrestling Will Ospreay. Ospreay defending the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Kenny. Jay White in the main event defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against, of course, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Taiji Ishimori defending the Junior Heavyweight title against Desperado, Hiromu, and Master Wato. The 6-man tag belts on the line. Keiji Muto, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Shota Umino taking on Naito, Sanada, and Bushi. Carl Anderson from the WWE defending his never openweight championship against Tama Tonga. And Carl will have Luke Gallows in his corner. How about that?
No AJ Styles. Unfortunately, AJ Styles is injured now.
I don't think he was going to make the show anyways.
Probably not. But he might not be around much at all now, sadly, what they're saying. He has an ankle injury, so if it's severe, it might be a while before we see AJ again.
That sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Ren Narita in the tournament final for the NJPW Television Championship. They're going to have a television title now. FTR defending their tag team titles, the IWGP tag team titles, against Goto and Yoshihashi. Oh, that's a fun match. I didn't know that was happening. Kyrie defending the IWGP Women's Championships against Tam Nakano. So maybe Sasha Banks isn't appearing on this one?
Well, she could appear. Doesn't mean
Maybe
she has
just
to
appear
wrestle.
on the show. Yeah.
Right.
TJP and Francesco Akira taking on Leo Rush and Yo for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. And then the Antonio Inoki Memorial Six-Man. Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Togi Makabe taking on Tatsumi Fujinami. What? Minoru Suzuki and Tiger Mask. Holy shit. Fujinami? The guy's 69 years old.
Well,
He's in the
Nagata's
WWE Hall of Fame.
in his 50s, no?
He entered the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015.
Okay. Well, a lot of guys are wrestling in their 50s, 60s. Nagata's in his 50s, right?
69?
Yeah, 69 is pretty up there. I'm not going to disagree. But for Ric Flair, 73,
Wow.
right?
Well, it'll be Yuji Nagata. Yuji's pretty old, too. Yuji's 54. Satoshi Kojima is 52. Togi Makabe is 50, right? Fujinami 69.
Wow.
Suzuki is 54. And Tiger Mask is 52.
My
So
goodness.
everybody's over 50 in this match. And one guy's over 60, nearly 70. Fujinami. It's the Antonio Inoki Memorial match. I mean, it's cool. They're honoring Inoki. Big respect. But wow, I didn't realize Fujinami was wrestling. Jeez. Cool. I think his team will win.
But you said this is like a 2-night thing, right?
Yeah, but they haven't announced the second night that they're calling Wrestle Kingdom,
Okay.
but it's not in a dome. It's in like a different arena. It's in an arena in another city later in January.
So
but they're saying it's night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom, even though, not really. Wrestle Kingdom is in the
all the
Tokyo Dome on
matches-
January 4th. January 4th,
Right.
every year, Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom. It's, which I like. I like that it's on a date. It's January 4th every year. January 4th, it's Wrestle Kingdom Day. Every year, January 4th. The Rumble's not like that. WrestleMania's not like that. They couldn't do it like that. Because I think it's a holiday in Japan, January 4th. But they couldn't do that in the States. Like, they couldn't be like, yeah, the Royal Rumble is January 8th every year. Because some days it would fall on like a Wednesday, and people would be like, what? What do you mean? Just like Wrestle Kingdom falls on a Wednesday, and everybody in Japan is like, yeah, let's do it. Got to respect it.
New schedule. It's got to be the last Saturday now, January. That's the Rumble. So that's the way things work now.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? January 4th every year to do your WrestleMania show. It's kind of cool. I like it.
It's nice that they have a tradition like that. It's pretty good.
And it's
Like you
always a
said,
great
like,
show. It's always great. Wrestle Kingdom is fantastic.
I've only watched one. It was good, but very, very long.
Yes. This will be long, too.
Yeah.
12 matches.
It's a good 5-hour pay-per-view, I think.
Yeah. Kenny and Ospreay, though? Ooh, my God. That's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, there'll be a lot of great matches, no question. Just, I think it's best to digest that, bit by bit, not like straight through.
Yeah. Good card. Good card. Wrestle Kingdom coming up on Wednesday. It was a good Dynamite this week. We saw Bryan Danielson wrestle Ethan Page. Solid match. He knocked him out with the running knee, then put the label lock on him. Page didn't need to tap out. He was unconscious. MJF was in a private box with a Shotzi lookalike and said some things before the match, but just kind of watched the match. They're in Seattle next week for Dynamite. Bryan's kind of hometown. Didn't announce any matches for Bryan, but maybe a promo with MJF where MJF is a huge heel and Bryan is a massive babyface. Might not be a bad idea. put them in the ring together for a promo, you'll get some really good reactions, right? The crowd loving Bryan and hating MJF. It'll work.
Well, definitely a segment. Definitely he'll show up in some capacity. Like, if anything, they'll give you like an impromptu match. Like, people are expecting to see Bryan Danielson, so I don't think they're too worried about people wanting to see him. They'll get him. And like, if he doesn't wrestle on Dynamite, he'll probably wrestle on Rampage.
Yeah. Rampage is in Portland. So still Pacific Northwest.
If they have a dark taping, whatever, before, like, he'll wrestle in Seattle no matter what.
You think?
Just whether we see
I think it
on
might just be a
Dynamite
promo.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll wrestle Seattle. Like, this is the first time in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
When's the next time they're going back?
I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Okay. Well, he wrestled this week. I don't know if he'll wrestle next week. His match with Ethan Page was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was a good match. Solid match. Like, good opener. Good intensity as always. Like, I think it was a great match for Ethan Page to have, because he needs to have like good matches like that to really stand out. I think Bryan's a great opponent to help elevate guys. So yeah, that was great. I mean, no harm in losing that match, because Bryan's a great opponent. So
yeah,
it was a good opener. Solid opener.
Very good. Moxley and Claudio beat Top Flight. I thought the match took a little too long. Like, Moxley and Claudio are top guys in the company. Moxley's a world champion. Claudio is the current Ring of Honor champion. And Top Flight, I mean, I don't know. I thought the match was a little too long. They got a little too much in there. They lasted too long with guys that are supposed to be way above them in the pecking order. And I understand you want to give them a good match. You want to make Top Flight look good, but you also want to keep Moxley and Claudio looking strong. And they didn't look particularly strong in this match.
No, but I think that was the design. I think that's what they wanted to do. They want to bring these guys up another level. You can't give them the win, but at least make it seem like a very competitive match, and that's what they did. I thought Top Flight looked very good in this match, and Claudio still looked good in this match too. If anything, I thought like Moxley, kind of took a step back, but that was kind of him not being selfish and like giving them a lot over. So, like, I actually thought this was a very good match in terms of like, if Top Flight can't get a win, they can still look good in this match. So, I thought it was good.
I would have cut some time off of it, though. Like, it shouldn't take them that long to beat Top Flight.
I mean, Top Flight, is a team, right? And Claudio and Moxley, they don't usually team together, so.
Yeah, but Top Flight isn't a, championship team. And Claudio and Moxley are Claudio and Moxley. Like, they're two of the top guys in the company. You know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't love the match. I thought it was a little too long. Like, it was fine, but it took too long. Hook knows how to get it done. Didn't take him too long to beat Balaam Lynx, whoever that was. Squashed him.
I'm glad you had the name. I didn't have the name on that one. I had no idea who he beat.
Yeah. It was a jabroni. Tapped him out with the Tasmission. And then Stokely Hathaway and Big Bill and Lee Moriarty show up. And Jungle Boy shows up to back up Hook. And Big Bill and Hook faced off in the ring. Bill went for a chokeslam. Hook went for a suplex. Bill goes for a chokeslam again, but Jungle Boy saved him and smacked Bill with a 2x4 piece of wood. So I guess that's the match we're building towards at some point, maybe even next week on Dynamite. Hook and Jungle Boy against Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. Big Bill. Gotta be one of the worst wrestler names I've ever heard. Yeah. I mean, Balaam Lynx is pretty terrible, but Big Bill isn't much better.
I feel like there's been other, there's Big John Studd. There's been a lot of bigs, I think, in wrestling. So Like, I'm not too thrown off by this because I feel like we've done this before. I feel like there's been other big bills in wrestling.
It was a Big Daddy. A Big
Yeah,
Daddy
Big
V,
Daddy
too.
Cool. Yeah,
But there was a
that's
guy,
true.
just Big Daddy, right? The British wrestler there, Big Daddy,
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
right? Big Daddy Cool, Diesel. Big Daddy
yeah.
V, Viscera. Several variations of Big Daddy. I'm going to call myself Big Daddy D. All right? Call me Big Daddy D.
You could for
Oh,
now.
it's my
It's not
new
gonna last
wrestling
so
name.
long, but
I'm Big Daddy D. I think I have to get like 300 pounds bigger. Okay. So Big Bill, I don't believe in Jungle Boy and Hook beating Gigantic Bill. Like, he's so big, and Jungle Boy and Hook
right.
just look like children. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. We were talking about Ronda Rousey earlier with that believability factor. Hook and Jungle Boy, to me, do not have that believability factor. I know some people buy
Right.
into Hook, like people are really into it and they believe in it, but I don't see it. Especially against some of these gigantic guys, like, I don't know. It's going to be tough to pull off where I believe it.
Well, the thing that I think what they're trying to do is like build up Hook to be a lot like Taz. How Taz, not the tallest guy in the world, but they made it seem like he could beat anybody. Like I remember the match he had with Baracus, where it's just Baracus was just this juiced up guy, and like Taz is this like not very tall guy, but Taz like choked him out within a minute. Like that was his thing, where he could just beat anybody. 911, like these tall guys, he would just choke out.
Yeah.
One man gang, like that was Taz's thing. Like he could just beat the guys no matter their size. Bam Bam Bigelow. So, well, Bigelow was a bit more of a challenge, but still, like I think that's what they're trying to do with Hook. It's harder because Hook's even smaller than Taz, but I think that's the gimmick that they're trying with. The thing is, Hook's super over, so I get it. It's just, I agree with you as well. It's a very, very difficult sell. And I think that's why it's a tag match, so they don't have to pin Big Bill. They'll just pin Lee instead.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what they do with Hook. I don't know how far the Hook thing goes. But to compare him to Taz, I think is, Taz was intimidating. Taz looked the part. He was that guy. Hook is just, he's Taz's son. Everybody knows he's Taz's son, Tyler. And it's like, all right. Taz is from the rough streets of Red Hook, right?
Right.
Dangerous, tough guy. The whole deal came from nothing. Still is nothing. Like when he was in ECW making no money, just smashing people, breaking necks, that was a hard man. That was an intimidating guy. Hook is a guy who played lacrosse in high school, who grew up in a nice house in a nice part of town because his dad worked for WWE and made a very good living. Because his dad is famous wrestler Taz. Hook did not grow up in the mean streets. Hook does not look scary. He's Taz's son, Tyler. And it's cool that there are marks out there who buy into it. But as a guy who's been around and seen like real toughness and real intimidating, and Hook is just not that guy. He's cool and all. He does some nice little throws. But his work isn't believable enough where I go, oh yeah, he could do that to anybody. Maybe he'll get there, but he's not his dad. And they're trying to make him like his dad. But he's really not his dad. I mean, his dad isn't even Taz anymore. You know?
No, he's not. But
He's not the human suplex machine anymore. Right? He's soft Taz. He's Daddy Taz. Give him a daddy. Daddy Taz. Daddy ass. Big Daddy Taz, Big Daddy ass. You know, he's just a dad now. He's not like scary. He's just like, oh, commentary dad, Taz. Laughing, saying ridiculous things with Excalibur, giggling, you know? Him and Excalibur playing their little giggle games, little inside jokes, making fun of Shivani. Like, that's Taz now. He's softened. He's not the same guy he used to be. And his son certainly isn't that guy. Like, I know I'm coming off like, oh, Hook is bad. I don't think Hook is bad, and I like that Hook is so over. His theme song is fantastic. Great choice. I just, you know, he's not Brock Lesnar when he walks out there. But he's not Dominic Mysterio either, you know?
Right.
But that would be a match I would like to see. That seems like a fair fight. You know?
What, Hook against Dominic? I don't think that's... I think Hook would destroy Dominic.
Like, I think it seems about right. They're both like children in a man's world. They both don't seem quite old enough to be in the company that they're in. You know what I mean? Like, everybody around them seems like way older and scarier than them. And they just seem like the kid who is there because their dad is there. Like, the difference between Hook, Dominic Mysterio, and -1 is negligible.
Well, I don't think that's completely fair. Like, you know, if it was Hook against Brock, I'd understand that. Yes, like, you know, Hook would get destroyed.
Get murdered.
Yes.
Hey, Dominic took a beating from Brock.
That's nice that he did that. Dominic's very good at taking a beating. Giving a beating is a whole other story. But I feel Hook is actually pretty good at executing a lot of his moves.
Yeah.
So that's a huge difference right there between the both of them right there.
Yes. The execution of the moves is very good. I just feel like his opponents are working with him and helping him do every move that he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, when Brock grabs you, he's throwing you. You could resist. It's not going to help you. A lot of guys, like, when they throw, like when Chris Benoit or Kurt Angle, you know, when Kurt Angle grabbed a hold of you, when Taz grabbed a hold of you, he was throwing you whether you liked it or not. Just ask Sabu, right?
That's true, yeah.
When Hook grabs a hold of you, you're going to work with him, you're going to jump, and you're going to, you know? It's like, it's a different throw. It's not like, oh my God, I'm getting thrown. It's like, okay, Hook's trying to throw me, let me help him do it. Right? It's a different vibe.
Well,
it's a different throw. It doesn't have the same power. It doesn't have the same pop. It doesn't have the same hips. Because he's not his dad.
No, but if anything, you don't want him to be like his dad in that case, because then a lot more people will get hurt.
Yeah, but his dad was cool.
If anything,
I liked his dad.
Cool in some cases.
I guess Hook is cool too, just
know.
to a new generation. Who doesn't know what real tough guys are. They think real tough guys are guys like Hook and Jake Paul. It's fucking jokes.
Well, are we ever going to see Logan Paul ever come back, or is he done?
He blew out his knee in that match with Roman Reigns.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows if he ever wrestles again? I mean, it's going to screw up his boxing career. Depends what pays him more, I think. Okay. Elite versus Death Triangle had another match this week. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. It was a false count anywhere. It was fun. One Wing Angel off the seats through 2 tables from Kenny on Ray Phoenix for the win. Fun match.
I wasn't a huge fan of the beginning, like when they were just like battling in like the hallway. It felt like there was just a lot of chaos. You couldn't really make out a lot what's going on. Like things are just happening, and some shots I think were missed too. But once they got in the ring, then things started to felt like they picked up. Like when they came on the stage, felt like things really picked up. Like I think Kenny hit this amazing V trigger. I think on Ray Phoenix because Ray Phoenix just jumped off the stage,
Yes.
and then once he just jumped off, bam, a V trigger. Like
Out of
there's a
nowhere.
lot of great timing. Yeah, yeah. Just the timing was fantastic on a lot of spots they had. But that's once they got back out there. Like I felt when it started, it was
Uh-oh.
felt like it was a throwback
Mm-hmm.
to. Well, am I cutting out again?
No, you did for a second there.
I did for a second, but
Yeah.
the finish felt like a cutback or a throwback to the. I think it was the Stadium Stampede match they had.
Where Matt Jackson caught in a submission, but Kenny was able to get the pinfall before Matt had to tap out.
Yeah.
Good finish.
Well, I like the whole thing that they thought they'd won all that. That was good.
Yeah.
Well, we all knew it was going to go to 7 anyways, but yeah.
I thought it was good stuff. I thought it was a good match, and then we will have the final match. It'll be a ladder match. Escala de la Muerte. January 11th in Los Angeles, the Elite versus Death Triangle. It'll be the final in the best of 7. Escala de la Muerte. That'll be fun. Ladder match to end it off. With the belt suspended above the ring. Perfect. It's been fun.
Now, does the Elite win, or does the House of Black screw them over?
I don't know.
I mean, it's one of those scenarios, right?
Yeah, it's
Either
tough to
the
call.
Elite's going to find a way to win, or the House of Black will screw them over. I mean, either way, they're facing the House of Black, I think, at the pay-per-view. So
I think the
we'll
Elite
find out
wins.
after that match.
They're in Southern California. You know, Young Bucks are from Southern California. They're going to win. It's like a hometown thing for the Bucks. And then they get attacked by the House of Black after the match. Lights go out, House of Black.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it should end the show, you would think.
Yeah, it should end the show.
Although, or it might start the show. I mean, they'd like to do that too.
Yeah, it might. I mean, if you have Moxley and Hangman, that might close the show.
Well, honestly, if you have Sasha Banks, I think Sasha Banks might close the show.
Jeez. Big show on the 11th, right? They've got Moxley and Hangman, potentially. They've got the finals between Death Triangle and Elite in a ladder match. And they've got Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Saraya and a mystery tag team partner who may be Toni Storm but may also be Sasha Banks. So, who knows? Maybe Naomi.
We'll just throw Mandy Rose. Like, why not? Let's just throw a bunch of names.
Why not? Why not Mandy Rose? Anna Jay and Tay Mello beat Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale on Dynamite this week. Tay used a chair behind the ref's back to help get the win. What do you think?
I thought that was a good match. I think Ty's really good. I think this feud's going to continue with her and Ruby. I think it's a good match. Like the crowd was into it too. Like usually the women matches, like not so much, but people cared about it. Shows you that they're over. Like Ruby's over. Willow's like slowly gaining a fan base. Ty's really good. Anna's not the greatest, but she didn't look that bad in this match. I think Ty did a lot of the work, but that's not a bad thing.
I don't know. It was okay. I like the Acclaim's music video promo better. That was great. Making fun of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. A lot of good lines there. Fantastic stuff. Made a crack about Karen Jarrett.
Apparently Karen's pissed. Did you see that?
I don't know. She's really mad.
Well,
she said, what did he say?
If it's real or not, like the fact that she mentioned Tony Khan, like if she gets involved in this, that's going to be fantastic. Like,
did she mention Tony Khan?
Yeah. Well, you should go check her Twitter. Like, yeah, she definitely mentioned Tony.
Just tell me what she
So,
said.
well, I can't remember exactly what she said because she wrote a long thing, and like, I don't really care that much to remember
Let me
stuff like
check
that.
Karen Jarrett's Twitter.
Your buddy, like, you follow her, don't you? Like,
Karen
I'm
Jarrett,
surprised
I
you
do
don't.
not follow.
Thought you like talked to her one time, no? Or didn't you see her like a TNA show?
No?
Like, didn't like Jarrett wrestle on a show? Or I guess maybe she wasn't there.
Jeff Jarrett. I think this was before.
Yeah. Oh, it was before.
I
Okay.
met Jeff Jarrett one time, but I didn't never met.
Oh, it was before they got married. Okay.
Karen Jarrett says, "Hey Tony Khan, your little boy Platinum Max thought he was cute and went somewhere he should have never ever gone. You and him have no idea what you've gotten started. What you've
So,
gotten started."
yeah, I know. Not the greatest English in the world, but whatever. The
No.
fact that it sounds like she's going to get involved in the storyline, so that's fantastic. Karen's a great heel. Like, I find she adds a lot to Jeff, so it just makes it better.
Max Caster replied to Karen's tweet saying, "Cancel me." And then Karen says, "You think I am working? Watch, you little bitches." My God. Maybe she is angry. I don't think she's angry. I think she's working. She is working.
Yeah, I think she's working, but she's very good at working because like seems very natural the way she comes out with how she's mean. So
Well, she's clearly a woman of pro wrestling, you know?
she's been around wrestlers enough, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah, she knows the business. She gets it. She's been on TV. She's married to Kurt Angle and now married to Jeff Jarrett, so she's definitely a woman of professional wrestling. Samoa
Wrestled
Joe.
China.
Huh?
She wrestled China.
Yes. Maybe China's last match?
It was China's last match.
Wow. That wasn't one-on-one, right? That was a tag?
That was
Karen
a
and
mixed
Jeff
tag.
against Kurt and China?
That's right.
Yeah. It didn't work out so well. Samoa Joe and Wardlow was pretty good. Main event of Dynamite this week. Wardlow beating Joe. Joe beating Wardlow with his Kohita clutch submission. Wardlow got attacked earlier in the night by Joe. Joe hit him with a metal pipe in his knee, and Wardlow was selling the knee, and security was trying to stop Wardlow from wrestling, and he fought them all off. And at one point, he hurt his knee in the match, and security tried to stop him again, and he fought them all off. And after the match, Joe looked like he was showing respect to Wardlow, but instead he attacked him and cut Wardlow's ponytail off, which was quite a shocking move there. And then Darby Allin showed up and hit Samoa Joe from behind with his skateboard. And we're setting up Darby versus Joe for the TNT title, which I believe is taking place this week on Dynamite? Possibly?
Yeah, because that's why Sting and Darby. Remember when we were watching Rampage, they were arguing. I guess that was the hope, like pump them up for this is gonna happen this Wednesday on Dynamite.
Darby's from Seattle.
They were mentioning that hometown and all that.
Could he win?
I don't think he's going to win, but probably will be the main event. And I mean, it's Darby Allin. Usually these matches are quite spectacular. So I mean, the first match was fantastic. So I can't imagine the second is going to be any less.
I could see Darby winning. I don't know.
I mean, we're gonna have new champion. Well, we could have new champions on the 11th, right? More than likely. So I don't know. Do we need to have new champions every week? I mean, they could, but I just don't see that.
Joe and Wardlow was pretty good this week. I liked it. Good main event. Solid episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, I would say I'm trying to think of anything that was kind of weird. Like we didn't see, there was no Rick Ross, sadly. I really wanted to see more of that. We did not get any more accusations, sadly.
And we saw Swerve tonight on Rampage. Swerve had his two goons, his two guys there, but no Rick Ross.
Well, they mentioned like he was on Dynamite. He did do a promo, right? He's mentioned Parker, but they haven't named the other guy yet. Like you don't know about this guy yet. You'll know soon, apparently. So
The tattoo face guy, he doesn't have a name.
no name yet. He used to be a baseball player too.
Like a minor league baseball player.
I believe so.
Yeah, he didn't make the majors. He was a former minor league baseball player. I read that about him. I don't know. Who cares about that guy? He's one of Swerve's goons. Does he matter? Not yet, he doesn't. CM Punk matters, and there was a Instagram post from the Pro Wrestling Podcast where there's a picture that says AEW's Dax Harwood makes plea for CM Punk and the Elite to find a way to make it work. So Dax Harwood has a podcast now, and he's talking about CM Punk and saying that he wishes that they could fix it and make it work, and saying positive things about Punk because he's friends with Punk. And then this pro wrestling podcast Instagram says, let's just shake hands and say sorry, LOL, no, but seriously. And then CM Punk responded and wrote, duh, D-U-H. So it seems like CM Punk is in favor of shaking hands, saying sorry, and for possibly working with the Elite again. Just the duh to, let's just shake hands and say sorry, and Dax Harwood makes plea for CM Punk and the Elite to find a way to make it work. Seems like Punk wants to make it work somehow. Maybe he feels that he should be apologized to. I don't know. Maybe he's owed an apology. But Punk publicly, with one duh Instagram comment, made a lot of news and made a lot of people wonder, does he want to make it work? Is there a way? Where there is a will, there is a way. And it seems like CM Punk may possibly have the will and the desire to step back into AEW, which would be massive for AEW because he's a huge star, a great talent, a great part of their show. And if they can find a way to make the Elite and CM Punk all on the same team, they would be a much stronger team for it. So AEW, Tony Khan, whoever needs to get it together, they need to get it together and make it happen. I don't know. I don't know if the Elite is unwilling, but time heals all wounds. And hopefully, while CM Punk heals his very real wounds of the injury that he has with a torn tricep, maybe he can also heal the wounds, the emotional wounds with the Young Bucks and the Kenny Omega. And Kenny and the Bucks can solve their issues with Punk. And when Punk is healthy enough physically to wrestle, maybe they're all in a good enough emotional state so that they can all do business and make a ton of money and make AEW the better wrestling company than it currently is. Always better, always striving to be better. Change the world, right, Kenny? Make pro wrestling a better place. If you can make peace with CM Punk, I think you would make pro wrestling a better place. I think peace among the wrestlers, prosperity of AEW is good for pro wrestling. And hopefully they can all be adults, put their differences aside, and realize that there are a lot of things that they have in common. Their love for professional wrestling, their desire for AEW to be the best pro wrestling product in the world, and start there. Do they like the same things in pro wrestling? Maybe not. Do they like the same things in life? Maybe not. Do they live the same lifestyle? Probably not. But it would be good if they could all work together. But CM Punk doesn't seem like a guy who forgives easily? Didn't he like cut off his entire family? Wasn't
Did
that
he? I
like
thought he
part of his
talked
gimmick?
about. Well, I thought he talked about his sister and all that, doesn't he? Like,
Did he?
wasn't
but
his
that's like
sister like in the front row?
no, but that's not his actual blood sister. That's like he like moved in with like a family, and that's like a woman he calls his sister, but they're not actually brother and sister necessarily.
Okay.
Like he cut off his parents, and I think he's got real siblings that he's just completely cut off. That was like part of the CM Punk like origin story. His dad was an alcoholic, so he cut off both his parents, and he hates alcohol, and he decided to live straight edge. Wasn't that like the whole story of CM Punk and where he comes from?
It rings a bell. I feel like Jericho touched on that in that feud that they did.
Yeah. But I remember CM Punk like cutting off his parents, at least, maybe his whole family. I don't know. And he was like talking about that proudly because he had to do it or whatever. I don't know. Seems like a tough guy to deal with. But I don't know what his parents did to him, so whatever. Some people you got to cut off, even if it's your parents, I guess. Seems mean to cut off your parents. You know? Couldn't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
mean,
like if
it's
alcoholism,
tough,
you know, it's a disease, it's a sickness, you know? You're going to cut off your father because he's sick? If he had cancer, would you cut him off? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Seems kind of messed up.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say because, like, you know, not in his situation kind of thing. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know what they put him through, right? But
right.
That part of the CM Punk like origin story that was in DVDs and everything that was talked about is kind of like, yeah, what happened there? Has he fixed that? Because that can't be, you know, and you know, like he's got like he has problems dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? CM Punk, like he gets into public feuds with a lot of different people in wrestling, right? That stems from somewhere, right? It comes from something. I hope he's okay. It can't be easy, you know, dealing with that type of like family drama.
Well, the fact that he has like a good support system from what it seems.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that helps him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the main thing for people like start jumping like, oh, you know, dream this, dream that, like, you know, you got to wait for him to get healthy again. Like nothing can happen until like he can actually go in the ring again. So until we get to that moment, you know, we can all hope for things to work out and, you know, we get to see this great feud one day, but, you know, until he's recovered, you know, there's nothing that can really be done. Like, but he hasn't been released yet. He's still under contract, you know?
Yeah, which is good.
So, yeah. So just, you know, nothing we can do. Just wait and see.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I think that cooler heads can prevail, and over time, Punk will eventually find his way back to AEW. Once his injury is healed, I think he'll come back. He'll wrestle in AEW. He'll do a big program with the Bucks and Kenny, and they'll make tons of money, and it'll be great. I think there's a lot to be done, and there's too much money left on the table. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have this huge thing that you know would be big money and just say, oh, well, I don't like that guy, so I'm not going to do it. For any of those guys to be leaving that money on the table is disrespectful to AEW and the wrestling business. For the guys in pro wrestling that can't make the money, go out and make that money. Go out and do that angle. It's a hot angle. It's a big match. Do it. The fans want it, so they'll pay for it. I mean, what the hell? Punk versus Kenny is just, it's too much. And also, if you don't bring Punk back at all, you're leaving too much money on the table with CM Punk and all the things that he hasn't done yet in AEW.
That's true.
His run was brief. There's much more he can do. He never wrestled Bryan Danielson. He never wrestled Samoa Joe.
Claudio. Yeah.
There are matches out there that he should have had, that he should have. And I think that it would be a waste to have coaxed him back into pro wrestling after so many years away. When you thought CM Punk was never going to wrestle again because he just hated wrestling and everything to do with wrestling, and he cut wrestling out of his life. To have brought him back, had him agree to come and wrestle and be a part of it, and had him happy and enjoying it for a time, it seemed. It seems like a waste to just let him go now. It seems like a waste for pro wrestling because there are things that we want to see him do, and if he doesn't do them in AEW, he might not do them at all. So, make it work, Tony Khan. Because there's still a lot for CM Punk left to do. A lot. I wish he never would have left. You know, when he left so many years ago and he was in the UFC and doing all that, I said, you know, it's cool, whatever he wants to do UFC, and CM Punk is his own man. He can do whatever he wants, but as a CM Punk fan, I'd like to see him in pro wrestling because he's very good at that, and he's not so good at UFC. I like CM Punk. I don't like seeing him in UFC because he gets the shit kicked out of him. And then people make fun of me and they say, oh, look at that pro wrestler guy. He's not so good at fighting. And I'm like, yeah, well, so? I'm not him. Well, you try fighting, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. People that make fun of CM Punk would get beat up by CM Punk very easily, right?
Apparently beat up guys with a broken tricep, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, Punk, I mean, like the average blue belt in jiu-jitsu is going to beat up most guys, you know?
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, he never fought amateur. Like, he went right to pro right away. Like, that was too big of a jump when you think about it.
Yeah. It's the fake tough guys that make fun of CM Punk. The real tough guys, they know. They respect it. The fake tough guys like Corey Graves, they disrespect Punk when he loses, you know? The real tough guys like AJ DeLesio, who's on our chat, he says, at least he has the balls to fight in the UFC. That's right, AJ. Danny Brooke. At least he had the balls. And AJ knows. AJ's a real tough guy. He doesn't have to tell you he's a tough guy. Although he will. He will tell you. But he is. I know he is for real.
I'll tell you next Thursday for sure.
But I want him to like get back to jiu-jitsu a little bit because he's been a brown belt for too long. If you know what I mean. It's like, you've been a brown belt for years now, man. Let's go with the black belt already, buddy. Because that's a major achievement, and I want him to get there. So let's go, AJ, before you're too old to do it. You know? I'm messing with you. AJ will never be too old to do it. AJ is ageless. The ageless wonder. Shout out to AJ. We love you, buddy. Happy New Year to you. We didn't have a Ringside Report MMA show last night because AJ ditched me. And Fred did too, so I was alone, and I decided to take a holiday week off because both of my buddies ditched me. They were very uncool. AJ ditched me like last minute. I knew Fred wasn't going to do the show last week when I talked to Fred. I saw Fred last week. He's like, yeah, I'm off this week and next week. I said, cool. AJ tells me like the night before. He's like, oh, Dave, I got to go to a birthday party tomorrow. I'm going to miss a show. I'm like, birthday party? You know about... You like my impression? Oh, Dave,
It's not bad.
I'm going to miss the show. It's me, AJ. Hey, whoa. You got to give it to him.
You do.
Let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you something. AJ, he's the best. But
sounds like he's De Niro now.
He knew he was going to this birthday party. It's Lucy's daughter's birthday. I saw on Facebook, AJ. I know whose birthday it was. I saw it on Facebook, okay? It's Lucy's daughter. You know it's her birthday party. You knew in advance. How come you couldn't tell me like last week you weren't going to be on the show? AJ.
Well,
gives me no
sometimes you forget
notice.
time.
You know what I mean? I could
You forget
prepare
time.
something. We could figure something out. No, tells me the night before, oh, Dave, I'm going to miss the show. I got to go to a birthday party. Doesn't tell me whose birthday party. I think it's Ted Danson, because it was Ted Danson's birthday yesterday. And AJ, Hollywood AJ, he's always hanging out with Harvey Keitel and Robert De Niro and all the different celebrities. So I figure AJ's going to a mysterious birthday party last minute. Must be Ted Danson from Cheers and Curb Your Enthusiasm and all the great Ted Danson things that Ted Danson has done. Ted Danson turned 75 yesterday, by the way. Happy birthday, Ted Danson. Becker.
Yeah, he was in the show Becker.
Yeah, he was the show Becker. What do you mean he was in the show Becker? He was Becker. In Becker.
He was, yeah.
I never watched Becker. Was Becker good?
It was
I know
okay.
people that liked Becker. I'm not a Becker fan. Ted Danson. Frasier, though. Ted Danson and Frasier are pretty good.
I never saw that crossover episode. I still got to watch that crossover episode when they had the Cheers Frasier crossover episode in Frasier.
What do you mean, Cheers Frasier crossover episode?
When Frasier went back to Cheers, they had that episode, no?
No, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen?
No.
That was supposed to happen. That's sad.
No, that never happened on Frasier. I'm currently watching all the Frasiers. I'm almost at the end. That never happened. At one point, Diane comes back, and she does a play about Cheers, and there's a set that looks like Cheers, and Frasier and Diane are on the set of the play, but they're not in Boston. Okay. They're in Seattle. I'm currently watching all the Frasiers. I've been watching all the Frasiers. I've seen a lot of them before, but I just love Frasier, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch all the Frasiers. I started from the beginning, and I'm in I think, last season. Oh, baby. I hear the blues are calling. I don't know what I'm going to do when there's no more Frasier. Probably just eat some tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
This is us making up for the entertainment talk that was missed last night, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we didn't do the show last night. Well, I was ragging on AJ. And then I started talking about Ted Danson and then Frasier. And then, once you start talking about Frasier with me, it's over because I'm currently watching all the Frasiers. Such witty repartee. You got to love it. David Hyde Pierce. That guy was good. Let me tell you.
I liked it when they had him on The Simpsons. That was great.
Oh, yeah. What was his name? Was Sideshow Bob Cecil?
That's right. It was Cecil.
Niles was Cecil on Simpsons. They did a couple episodes, didn't they? With Cecil?
They had the dad too one time.
Marty? Did they have him too?
Yeah.
I gotta see
they had him as well.
That's hilarious. I like that Sideshow Bob's brother in The Simpsons is Niles, his brother from Frasier, and his dad in The Simpsons is his dad from Frasier. Like,
it's
why
good
did that? That's a weird crossover, And there's like Frasier references in The Simpsons, like when Bart kind of grabs Cecil and he grabs him behind the eye. I think it's Bart, and he's like, "Guess who?" And Cecil goes, "Maris." I mean, there's no like, if you just know The Simpsons and you've never seen Frasier, you're like, "Who's Maris? What the hell is he talking about?" But if you know Frasier, you're like, "Oh, Maris." That's good. What a reference.
They even had some scenes where open just with caption, like it does in Frasier. That happened in The Simpsons as well, that episode.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
A little music? It's good.
The music with words, whatever, just talking about the scene before it happens.
Frasier was a big show, man. I was at the gym this week. I think it was this week. I was talking to a guy who's in his early 20s. And I said something that's like, he was like, "Oh, yeah, he watches a lot of movies." I'm like, "Man, you're always watching movies." I don't know about movies. I just sit at home. I watch Frasier. I don't need to go to movies. He's like, "What's Frasier?" I was like, "What? What do you mean, what's Frasier, bro? What are you talking about?" A guy at jiu-jitsu, he's in early 20s. He doesn't know what Frasier is. He's never seen Frasier? Doesn't know Kelsey Grammer? It shocked me, man. I hadn't met anybody that never even heard of Frasier in a long time. Maybe ever. It might have been the first time in my life where I was talking to an adult And I was like, yeah, Frazier. And they're like, what's Frazier? I'm like, what do you mean, what's Frazier?
You've gotten to that point in your life.
Ever heard of Cheers? He's a guy from Cheers.
Cheers.
He's like, what's Cheers? I'm like, forget about it. Ted Danson? He's like, who's Ted Danson? I'm like, forget it. I left. I felt like an old man. I'm leaving.
It's funny. I had a good moment at the gym too. Like I saw someone wearing like a Legend of Zelda hat. I'm like, oh man, nice hat. Yeah, Zelda's better than Mario, definitely.
Oh, did you say that? Really?
No, I didn't say that. But I was thinking that.
You bastard.
I give him a fist bump though. I'm like, yeah, man, nice hat.
Zelda.
Yeah, I said that. I love Zelda.
Yes. Was he jacked? This guy at the gym?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he had a great hat, so it's all good.
Because, like, I wonder how many, like, really jacked guys are into Zelda, you know? Because, like, there's you and Cody Rhodes, and you're the only two that I know. I think Xavier Woods possibly.
There's more.
Who?
There's got to be more.
Yeah, there's got to be more. I thought you said Evan Bourne. I was like, Evan Bourne? Maybe.
That'd be cool, but I'm not sure.
Cody Rhodes. You know who was really into Zelda?
Who?
The late, great Robin Williams. He named his daughter Zelda because of the video game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you know that?
They're in commercials. They're in Zelda commercials, actually, both of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty fantastic. Pretty fantastic.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You could have done it too, but you decided not to.
I was close.
You were very close, yes.
Yeah. Zola and Zevi. Yeah. Well, if I have another one, which I hope I don't, but if we do, to keep with the theme, we might have to call her Zola. If I have another daughter, which I hope we don't have a Maggie Simpson situation here, but I guess maybe Zelda, because, at that point, I need another Z name, and how many can I come up with? I guess I just ask Zevi, and he'll just come up with another one. He came up with Zola, so he'll come up with whatever else we need. Just leave it to him. Or maybe let Zola choose the next name. No more kids. No more kids. I've had enough. 2 is enough. John, you've seen me in action with 2 of them. It's a lot. Could you imagine me handling a third? I can't, and I won't.
Yeah.
Ever. No. Shut your mouth. Shut your goddamn mouth.
You're
All right? 2 was fine. I was always happy with 2. I was always happy with the idea of 2. 3 is a crowd. 3 is not happening. If 3 happens, I'm leaving. Zeppelin. Good one, AJ. Name the third one Zeppelin. Just have a boy, make him really fat. Just like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's Zeppelin, Simon. Look at him. He's huge. Yeah. I mean, I'll neglect Zeppelin. Poor Zeppelin. Poor little Zeppelin. He'll be the neglected one, just eating nachos all day. Oh, Zeppelin.
He'll get so many hand-me-downs, though. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Zola's wearing. They'll be really handed down at that point. But we're getting rid of all the stuff. We're getting rid of all the stuff. No more hand-me-downs for the next, we kept a lot of Zevi stuff for a possible next baby. We're not keeping any of the baby stuff anymore. We're getting rid of it because there's not going to be another baby. You understand what I'm saying? No more babies. I love my babies. They're the best. They're my favorite people, but it's enough. I'm getting old, and I'm tired. And that's the show. Thanks, everybody. I'm old and I'm tired. Good night. But I'm younger than John Cena, so there you go. All right? And he's still wrestling, kind of. So, how about that? I'm the same age as a tribal chief. They the 2s, we the 1s. Still got it.
Champ's here.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to the members, Anthony Plesia, Derek John, Jason Pete, Harold Schneider, Ray Cruz. Happy New Year to all you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the Ringside Report Network. Thank you for joining us live here tonight. Jason, Ray, Derek, Harold, Anthony. Very cool, you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network this year. And, of course, Harold Schneider Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you, Harold. Always dropping the Super Chats, always supporting the network. We appreciate you, my friend. AJ liked the show. Thanks, AJ. I will be back on Thursday night with AJ and Fred. We'll talk about MMA. We will give you our recap. We'll do a best of 2022, and we'll do some predictions for 2023. How about that?
So the makeup show. It's good.
Yeah, well, we're going to combine it in one, okay? We're going to do a best of 1 week, and then a preview of the next year, the next week, but then AJ ditched me, and then we had no show last night because of AJ. It's AJ's fault entirely. So, next week we'll do a combination show, which is fine. Fred will be mad, though, because it'll run long, Fred will want to go to bed. It'll be a whole thing. All right?
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Thursday night, 8 p.m., Ringside Report MMA. We'll do a recap of 2023, just, fighter of the year, fight of the year, that type of thing. And then predictions for recap 2022, preview 2023, predictions for the year. Champions, who we think is going to become champion. What kind of fights we'd like to see. Will we see John Jones fight in 2023? Will we see Conor McGregor fight in 2023? Will we see a Diaz brother fight in 2023? I think that's a big question. Will Nick Diaz fight? I don't know. Nick, not Nate. Nate's not under contract. Nick is, and apparently Nick wants to fight, so we'll see. We'll talk about that Thursday night, 8 p.m., right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.